Morning. Let's get back to some important stuff like sport. What should the initials CRM have had to do with MCG and CA over the weekend? CRM is an aviation term, crew resource management. And it relates to, while respecting the hierarchy, everyone gets to have an input into important decisions, questioning everything along the way. Came up after some air disasters in the 70s, and one in particular was the tipping point where a captain was fiddling about, worrying about the landing gear, and a couple other crew members were noticing a slightly much more important bit, that they were out of fuel. And the plane crashed and many people died. And in the black box recordings, they established this as a fact. So it came up that it doesn't matter what the hierarchy is. If you see a problem, you should be stating the problem and challenging thought processes along the way while respecting the captain as a captain. And what's this got to do with the MCG and CA? Well, I listened to the press conferences yesterday from Stuart Fox, the MCG CEO, and Matt Page, the curator, after the two-day test, and I'll get to how they handled the crisis management side of things. But whatever the balance was between, modern day batsmen not having a defence and blah, 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 what's clear is it favoured the bowlers too much. But more to the point, it doesn't matter about opinions from dills like me who are just cricket fans or experts who actually know the game. What matters is that the game only went 2 days, and it would have cost the sport just millions of dollars. Be interesting how much, but millions and millions, given it's not just attendances, it's catering, it's broadcasting rights, it's all those sports betting ads that they're not allowed to play, that of course they have nothing to do with why rights go for so much money. But I digress. So what matters is that there's not a 2-day test. That's what matters. What doesn't really matter is why batsmen threw their wicket away, etc. If you've got a pitch which can end up in a 2-day test, it's costing the game too much money. So, Cricket Australia should not be blaming Matt Page. They should be blaming themselves for a systematic error. And that's not sticking up for Matt Page, but that's saying, using this CRM basis, and it has been established now as something not just in aviation but in management worldwide, that just because Matt Page is the head curator and decides to put 10 mils on a pitch, and I listened to the whole press conference, where was the system that said, so Matt Page thought 10 mils would be a good idea, he then discussed it with his fellow curators, and after they all agreed that it would be a good idea, he then tabled it to Stuart Fox at the MCG, who agreed it was a good idea, who then tabled it with Cricket Australia, who then all agreed that while it's important that curators have a level of independence so that it's not, favouring the home side, etc., that was a good idea to produce the best pitch possible. That clearly didn't happen. Now, it's okay to say, well, Matt Page stuffed up as curator, but that's systematic error, because there's no checks and balances to say one bloke decided to put 10 mil on the pitch, even the head curator. He's not Stuart Fox's level, whatever level he is. There he was yesterday in the polo top doing his best. So that's systematic error, and they should use CRM. Because basically it cost me a day on the couch yesterday after watching racing on Saturday and didn't get to so much cricket. So it's all about me. But crisis management, Stuart Fox and Matt Page yesterday, first class. Once the stuff up had happened, they owned the stuff up completely. But Stuart Fox spoke first and said he has full faith in Matt Page, pointed out he's been there for 8 years with 8 years of success prior to Saturday's stuff up, and he fully supports him. Now, I reckon that would say from the busboy collecting the drinks to anyone in senior management to anyone who might work for Stuart Fox one day would think, well, there's a bloke who backs his man. I don't think Stuart Fox would get a job in media or at Racing Victoria, the way curators get hung out to dry there. And to Matt Page, he owned the stuff up, but he explained fully what his thought process was. And you thought, well, here's a bloke who's an expert, and he made a decision. The decision was wrong. Yeah, put up your hand if you don't do that occasionally. So, good on them. That was very good crisis management after the stuff up was made. Anyway, to the four-legged sports, Flemington has a New Year's Eve meeting, the old New Year's Day meeting, and hopefully I can help you find a winner via racejackralphie.com.au.